Rump shaker. Oh, no. He doesn't move much. If at all possible, he doesn't move at all. All he want to do is sit around the room on his poom poom, sitting on his rump. All he want to do is sit around the room on his poom poom. That's about the closest he gets to that rump thing. But before we go to that, hold on for a second. Before we go to that, I want to shoot out some of his heavy supporters. All right, so this is going out to you heavy Tim supporters. Those of you guys that know you should not be sending him your hard-earned money. Should not be sending him your hard-earned tips. You should not be mailing him your hard-earned gifts just so that he can sit up on his big old rump. You guys know good and well you should not be defending your pastor. Your pastor can defend himself when he's not busy hating. You know you shouldn't be defending your pastor. Those of you guys that know all you're doing is you're encouraging him sitting on his rump. This is going out to you guys. Those of you guys that encourage him to force Megan to continue to break her back while he sits around on his rump, while all he wants to do is sit around the room on his poom poom, sitting on his rump. This is going out to you guys. All right, go ahead, turn it up. I got it right here. Those of you guys that have fallen in love with the idea of a farm, those of you guys that have fallen in love with the idea of a ministry, this is for you guys. Rump sitters of the world, unite around your king, because he's truly the king of rump sitting, the king of rump sitting at IAG. All right, I got it right here. Hold on a second. All right, you can go ahead and turn that up. All right. Checks heavies, 1, 2, 3, 4. Gifts heavies, 1, 2, 3. Tips heavies, 1, 2. So he can sit heavies, 1. He's called the rump sitter. No, not yet. All right. Okay. Let me address those in the comments first. Let me take care of that first. All right. Before I get into my reaction, I want to first recognize you guys that have been active in the comments both ways. Keep that dialogue going. Keep that reflection going. I do want to recognize you heavy. No, I was trying to go easy on them. You heavy Tim supporters. I want to recognize you guys. I hear you guys in the comments talking about captain, some captain you are. If anything, you're the captain of jealousy. You're just jealous that you don't have the tractor that Tim has. You're just jealous that you don't have a farm that looks like a dump site, a bona fide dump site. Everywhere you look, except for inside of Emma, well, mostly inside of Emma, it looks like a dump site. You guys like, yo, Captain, you're just jealous. You're jealous that you don't have boys that are miseducated. You're just jealous that you don't have the misery that Megan has. You're jealous that you don't have Megan's misery. And I'm like, okay, all right, I hear you guys. But being jealous of that stuff, I'm like, come on, you guys are wild with it, wild. But keep the commentary going. I always enjoy it. But in the meantime, I digress. Welcome back to the end game, where today I'm going to be providing my reaction to the recent IAG Farms video where Tim is talking about repairing the driveway. And I'm not sure when repairing was constituted by moving some rocks around. Okay, I don't want to spoil the video for you guys, but all he's doing is moving the rocks around from one spot to the next. He's moving rocks that were already settled in. Okay, he's moving them around. He's jostling them. He's unsettling the rocks that were settled in, I guess, a year ago. Okay, and he tries to give some credit to his dad for teaching him how to move those rocks. Now, unfortunately, apparently Tim only gives credit to other folks when he's doing something wrong. When he's doing something that's half right, he gets all the credit. He might give Jesus a little bit of credit, may give God a little bit of credit. But for the most part, he gives himself credit for the good or decent stuff in his life. And I know your dad did not teach you to just move the rocks around. I'm sure your dad told you that you had to bring in those loads of new gravel to fill in those potholes and those shallows, as you call them, in order to even out that driveway, in order to create a new parking pad. But in any case, what the case, I'm going to react to that video here. Early on in the video, Tim tells us that they got grandma settled in on their other property down the road. And by other, he means the Resurrection Ranch. And I'm like, hold on, Tim. Didn't you make videos? Didn't you make testimonies about giving that property to Grandma Lily? Didn't you look dead in the camera and tell your heavy Tim supporters that you guys signed that property over to Grandma Lily so that she can have her own property, her own homestead? All right. And now you're letting it slip. You're letting it slip that that actually is your other property, as in you still own both properties. I'm like, okay, come on, Tim. Tim, we know that with you, Tim stands for the truth is marginalized. But come on, Tim. All right. Be careful. Even your heaviest of supporters will have a hard time following that story when you claim that it was hers, but then you admit that it's yours. And by yours, I mean Timothy's. I don't mean yours and Megan's and the boys. You had those heavy Tim supporters thinking that you actually gave it to Grandma Lily out of the kindness of your heart, when in actuality, at least for us more discerning viewers, we knew that you never turned that property over to Grandma Lily, because you're the coach. I mean, come on now.
And get some work done at the same time. And I get a chance to play on the tractor today and get some driveway work done today. Y'all saw on I don't know if it was the last video or the video, it was a video in between this one and that video where we moved the camper and we cleared off this section right here because we're getting ready. As you all know, we're preparing to do some outside work on our mobile home, and we're trying to make it the biggest, baddest, greatest, most amazing mobile home you've ever seen. And we're just excited about this whole process because we've gotten Grandma, for you all who've been following the channel for a while, we've gotten Grandma on our other property down the road, settled in down there. We got Grandma on our other property down the road. We got Grandma on our other property down the road. And we're gonna give our property down here on IAG Farms a little bit of love.
Later on in the video, Tim reminds us that he learned the tractor work from his dad. I'm like, all right, Pastor Tim, finally giving credit to someone else. You talked about the fact that you worked for your dad about 6 years, doing construction work and bush hogging and paving and what have you. We're not going to fact check you on that one, Coach. We're gonna take your word for it on that one. But you talked about the fact that you worked for him for 6 years before you got fired. No, I mean, you said before you got called into the ministry full time. You said that you worked for him for 6 years before you realized that earning a living was not for you. I mean, before you felt called into the ministry full time, you felt called to put your family into a struggle type of situation. And fortunately for us viewers, most of us have learned that when you say that you got called to do something, you really mean that you decided to do something, that you decided to change the seasons. And so thanks for sharing that little walk down memory lane so some of us could catch up on how you went from being a hard-working young man to being the, don't say it, to being the pastor, ex-pastor, right? To being the YouTuber that you are today.
All right, y'all, I figured I would stop for a second to kind of explain to y'all what I'm doing, because I realized as I was going back and forth, I said, they probably don't know what's going on. Because I used to do this type of work full time back when I worked with my dad before I went into full-time ministry. And so I did tractor work, bush hogging, grading, box blading, driveways, clearing fields, all that type of stuff for probably about 6 years or so, full time. And then the Lord called me to go into full-time ministry, and I started working with my dad. And my dad, he started his own business and everything. And I learned a lot while I was working with him. And so that's how I know how to do things like this. And a lot of stuff I taught myself, but this particular trade here is something that my dad taught me. But let me show y'all the middle of the driveway. And so while I'm doing that, I'm picking up extra rocks and extra dirt, and I'm dumping it in these hollows right here, these potholes right here that are developed from that water overflowing.
A bit later in the video, Megan appears coming out of the mobile home. She informs us that Tim wrenched her from the homeschooling of the boys, those undereducated, those miseducated. No, we're not going to say uneducated. We'll say undereducated. But you informed us. Well, no, I'm sorry. You did not inform us. You told us that you got curious because you heard all that noise going on outside, even though you guys talked about it this morning, even though you guys reviewed the script last night or the day before. You told us, us gullible viewers, that you got curious because you heard so much noise going on. So you decided to disrupt the homeschooling. You decided to leave those boys to their own, working on an assignment. And now, even though they're homeschooled, we know that there is still a certain level of classroom management that's required in order to be effective. Some people might argue that you need to have greater classroom management in a homeschool setting because there are plenty of extra distractions. When you talk about boys being boys, when you have younger boys mixed in with older boys, when you're trying to give various age groups, I mean, I guess the boys are separated by 2 or 3 years, but when you're trying to give various, multiple age groups the same lesson during their miseducation, you got to have classroom management. And so for you to walk out, let Tim wrench you away in order to do some filming while they were left to their own devices to complete that assignment, an assignment that we know had no chance of being completed. But while you stepped away to do the filming, of course, we outside viewers, we would have preferred that you stayed and finished up. I think you did about 30 or 40 minutes of filming. So obviously you could have delayed that for a little while, finish up with the boys, and then drag them out to do the filming with you.
What's up, y'all? It is an absolutely beautiful day today, and the boys and I are just about done with homeschool for today, but they all have one more assignment that they are working on, and I thought I would just kind of sneak out and check on all this work that I've been hearing go on our driveway. Even the boys went homeschool, they're like, what's that noise? Like, Dad is moving around some rocks out there. So I'm just gonna pop out and kind of see what they're doing and give the boys some time to work on their assignment while I'm not like looking over their shoulders so they can work freely. And it looks really, really, really good already just from what I can see these few seconds that I've been out. But Tim's still moving rocks around and he wants to just get everything perfect. But I'm just gonna walk y'all down and show y'all his progress and give y'all my thoughts because it is amazing and it looks really, really great. So here is our parking pad area. As y'all can see, he's completely reclaimed this area, and these rocks that he kind of has pulled up.
Near the end of the video, Tim actually reminds us of the obvious For a moment, he was going to try to say that it was a new driveway. Fortunately, he caught himself. Maybe that was a hand of God reaching down and watch out, whopping him. One quick one. But he said, no, it's not a new driveway. It's a refreshed driveway. I simply dug up the old and the existing rocks. I spread them around and I refreshed, holy crap. I refreshed the driveway. And I'm like, okay, now you did not learn that from your dad. Okay. But you did promise us that you will eventually get some loads, some extra loads of gravel. You'll spread it out and you'll put some smaller size gravel on top of that. And so then once again, the boys will be able to ride their bicycles on the driveway. And so once again, Megan will be able to walk the driveway when she wants to do her walk and talks. She'll be able to walk the driveway without twisting her ankle. She won't have to walk on the roadside in with the snakes. Well, fortunately, it's not snake season, but in with the weeds and the mud. Fortunately, eventually, and we know by eventually you mean never, but eventually you're going to put down some more gravel on top of that, and it will represent a more suitable driveway for something other than a four-wheel truck.
And just walking in. It's so beautiful with the sun setting as I'm walking down.
Perfect time of the day.
Yep. And so this section right here wasn't too bad. It was really once you got down into this bottom section where all the water flows at. But it's all looking good. And like I said, we didn't bring in any rocks. All I did was kind of rip up the rocks or rip up all that grass and then just refresh everything, pour rocks into all the potholes and everything. My wife and kids, as I told y'all, have been getting on me about these potholes.
I know.
So I had to do something about this driveway.
Yeah, we had to put a letter of complaint in.
That's right. Well, they finally got to my desk. Look at that sunset back there with the pond.
Oh, that is beautiful.
I love it. Yeah. Boys, what y'all think about this driveway? Did I do a good job? Yeah.
Amazing. You did amazing. Best job ever.
Good. Thank you. Just make sure you put my check in the mail.
All right.
Since I did such a good job.
We will.
I have $7.
Yeah.
At the end of the video, Tim informs us that, man, it's been a long day for me. Sitting my big old self on this tractor and running this tractor back and forth. It's been a long day burning this diesel. Wow. And I'm like, okay, hold on now. Megan was the one that was doing the majority of the walking. She was doing the majority of the moving. Okay. We already know she made the coffee. She did the cooking. She did the feeding. She did the nursing. She did the homeschooling. And she did the filming. So how long was Megan's day, Tim? Okay. Next time you even think to come out your mouth and talk about your long day, let's talk about who really has the longest days on the farm.
All right, y'all. So it's been a long day for me. I've been on the tractor all day. It's been a long day for me. I've been on the tractor all day.
Up down the driveway with the tractor, and then up and down the driveway, spraying the weed killer.
Yeah, because I came back off camera and sprayed pesticide, not pesticide, but herbicide,
Yeah.
weed killer. And so the grass won't pop back up and everything. Let's watch this way just a little bit more. I want to get that driveway and our backdrop. Not the driveway, but the parking pad, we call it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That looks nice. Yeah. I love it. So a lot of hard work, but it's worth it. And I better come out in the morning with a cup of coffee and look at it all, walk up down this driveway, and just continue to dream.
All right. That's it. That's it for my reaction to that recent IAG Farms video where Tim talks about fixing the driveway. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please chop it up in the comments. Burner Tim, bring some of your heavies with you. We always look forward to what you guys have to say in the comments. I want to shoot out some love to my current subscribers. Thank you for showing me that love. For those viewers that have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing so that we can continue to shine that light. Until next time.